If the sun ain't shining bright and the moon will shine for you tonight.
And welcome, boys and girls, to the Model Works and another update on the 55 Jukebox Ford by Revell that I am calling Locked and Loaded. Hope everyone had a great weekend and a good start to the work week. Before I get into the update, kind of on a non-model related thing, my wife and I had a chance Saturday night before last, to see Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band at the Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville. And those of you who watch my videos regularly know that my intros usually have some kind of classic rock or blues or whatever. I'm a big blues fan, big classic rock fan, and my music taste kind of goes all over the place, really, when it comes to the classic rock. I'm a big Rush fan, and AC/DC, and Bob Seger, Stevie Ray Vaughan, just on and on. So we took the opportunity to get some tickets and go see Bob here for his Ride Out tour, which I had heard rumors that since it was called Ride Out, that this might be his last, at least his last tour anyway, because he's getting on up there. I read the other day that he'll turn 70, I think, the first week of May. So there's not a lot of tour. I'm sure he's probably about tired of the tour life. But at any rate, long story short, if you have not seen Bob Seger and he continues to tour again, and you're a big classic rock fan and you like Bob Seger and you haven't seen him, go see him, because man, I'm gonna tell you, a killer show. One of the best shows I've seen probably in the last, I'd say the last 15 years anyway. And we regularly go to see the classic rock groups like Tom Petty, Clapton, and those kind of, the best sound I've heard probably in 15 years. I mean, and he had 13 or 14 people on stage at any one time, 4 horn players. The sound could have got real muddy real easy, but his sound people know their stuff. And like I said, I'm real particular when it comes to a live show, a live venue, and you could hear every part. I mean, it was loud and powerful, but it was, you could hear piano, you could hear the keyboards, you could hear, each horn, just unbelievable. And his energy level for a guy that is 70 is incredible. I mean, they played for probably 2 hours and 15-20 minutes non-stop. I mean, this was without any intermission, no breaks whatsoever, other than just, some musicians run off and, or whatever, depending on the song, and kind of, swap, get guitars on and off and what have you. But other than that, I mean, and he didn't run around quite naturally, all over the stage like a madman, but he walked the entire stage, all the way around. He'd go from one side of the stage to the other side, to some of the people that had, didn't have the best of seats, sit kind of, beside the stage. So, but I just wanted to say that, and just what a consummate performer he is. His voice, I mean, some singers, when they get older, they lose the upper registers. Not Bob. I mean, just absolute. I mean, it's like putting one of his vinyl albums on and kicking back at home in the easy chair and turning it on and listening to it. It was just fabulous. So, thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, let's get on to the build right quick. What you see before you in the back here is all the colors that and types of paint and brands of paint I have used thus far on the build. And one of the reasons I want to make a note of that, or to comment, is for some of the newer guys. And I want to address a couple of questions also by a couple of my subscribers that I got through the PM on YouTube. The colors that I have chosen for the engine and the suspension parts it was done for a purpose. I wanted to show that using any combination of, and I actually left my dull coat out. Dull coat is also one of the things I used on some of the chrome parts. That you don't have to buy testers, metallizer paints to duplicate different types of metal on engines, suspensions, whatever. And now, before someone, has a spell and sends me a PM or makes a comment publicly, whatever, that, well, those are lacquer paints and they're much, much more durable. And you're right, they are. But these craft acrylics, when applied right and when cleared and all the proper steps are taken, can be just as realistic looking, metal-wise, and can be just as durable within the normal handling of a model as lacquer. Now, having said that, I would, you're not going to be playing with these models, but at the same time, you can do pretty much anything that you want to do as far as when you're assembling the models or whatever, and they will hold up just fine. That was a question that a subscriber had. How many metallizers do you use, or what kind of metallizers do you use? Well, I have some. Don't get me wrong. I have used them. It's not like I have not used them. I have found that unless you clear them, and now I think Testers has found out since they came out with the metallizers, because they have developed clear coats for them. They have developed clears, sprays for them. I've seen them in cans. I don't know about for airbrush, but they have developed clear coats for them because they found out that, and I've attested to this myself, that if you handle, even after you let them dry overnight, when you handle those metallizers, those buffing metallizers, when you handle them quite a bit, the moisture and the heat from your hand, you will rub the metallizers off. And I'm not just saying that just because I read it somewhere or because I heard it. I can attest to it. When they're buffed, they look killer. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I'm offering, you an option that you're not spending, $4 or $5 a can for metallizers. So I wanted to throw that out there first of all. But anyway, here's everything on the table that I used for this. I'm not going to go over each individual item. Most of the engine parts are the ones you see in the back. The aluminum, the platinum, metallic silver. The flat aluminum by Tamiya here is the chassis pan and the dash. The suspension parts are the flat aluminum, a mixture of the platinum and metallic silver ceramic coat, just ceramic coat. This kit came with a killer rear end suspension setup, and just real nice. Looks real good. It fits up good. It has some really nice detail, picked out. If you pick it out, and did some black wash and what have you on the differential, and picked out my spring detail with some ceramic coat black. Up front, pretty much a mix of the aluminum, the platinum, the metallic silver on the block, the manifold, the intake, and part, and the transmission is the aluminum as well. I believe I did that. Let me double check. Yes, I did. It is the aluminum, ceramic coat aluminum. Does a real good job, I think. It looks a whole lot like, kind of like the titanium gold, only dulled down just a little bit. The exhaust is, the headers are metallic silver with a little mix of the black gray of the Vallejo. And then I did some, on my hand, I did some, I don't know if you can pick it out in this light, but did some periwinkle and copper mix for the heat stains on the headers. I have the decals, my gosh, brain fart, plug wires already installed, and I did not use the kit radiator hose, and I'm not real sure that this is correct. There's not a lot of information out there about the one-to-one jukebox Ford, so I just kind of wing this one as I go. This is 18 gauge artistic wire that I got at Michael's with number 2 crimp tube on the radiator end, and then this coolant manifold is just is the kit, chrome. I picked out some of the fitting detail with red and blue Sharpie. Let me see if you can get that a little closer. I don't know if you can see that. You might be able to see it, and I can't see what you're seeing, so if it doesn't look, if you can't see it, I apologize. And I also picked out one of the oil lines on the oil tank, he said. This uses a dry sump pump oil system. It came with a oil filter. I'm not sure why they would have done that with a dry sump pump oil system, but I used a number 1 crimp tube just for a fitting detail on the top. And this is 24 gauge twisted beading wire that I got, I think, at Michael's also. The beading wire that I use for the detail is pretty much 24 gauge, 22 to 24 gauge. If they make smaller beading wire than that, I haven't seen it. So that's about as close as you're going to get to scale. And you know, I like a lot of detail. I don't like too much. There's no way I was going to attempt to do nitrous lines. I still had to put the carburetors on. I will do a fuel block and regulator up front, and I have 2 poly carbs, 4-barrel carbs, where I have the, well, I can show you those while I'm thinking of that. I have those detailed out, but I used aluminum tubing for the Venturis and the carburetors, and then I have I believe that's titanium gold and platinum silver mixed with just some plain silver. Still have some black wash to put on it, and then we will be detailing out with 24 gauge beading wire, and I have some .025 fittings from ProTech that I got from Chip and Lisa at Extreme Scale Detail. I have the nitrous bottles. This unit back here was all one piece. This is all together, everything just one solid piece. So I just picked out detail. I don't know if you can see it. Quite naturally, the nitrous bottles are, you know, painted blue. I have some contingency decal sheets that I got from Model Roundup that has nitrous bottles, coolant bottles, oil filter decals, belt decals, that kind of thing. So I installed 2 of those on the nitrous bottles. The fuel line, I put some fuel line and crimp tubes for fittings. The fuel line is, I believe, .035 braided line from ProTech as well. In the interior, I've detailed, let me get back up here. The tack I just picked out by hand, the numbers. That's clear Tamiya red. The shift light, which you cannot see, is clear orange. You might be able to see it. The dash is gauge faces from, I got from Model Roundup. They're clear acetate with the gauge detail made into them, and then the backside I cleared. On the backside of the clear, he said, I put green Sharpie just to give it, you know, something to break up just the silver inside the interior there. And then I've had some red detail wire for the tack run through the dash, and then I have an MSD box right there. I don't know if I'm getting it in, and then I have some wire run to the ignition module, and then when I get the seat detailed out with the seat belts, the 5-point belt, I'll be putting the top of the cage on, and then I have the you might be able to see it, the control box up top for all the systems, onboard systems. I have that wired. I will then wire that, run that through to the dash. I was going to wire that too, which it correctly should be, into the ignition module. It didn't dawn on me until I had it in that I had cut the wires too short, and so we will just be running it. I've got 2 holes drilled into the dash, and we'll be running it through there, and you'll have to let your imagination run away with you on that one. So, all right, sorry this is running a little bit long. I wanted to say that about Bob Seeger and kind of give you an idea of what we got going on. Oh, let me show you one more thing right quick. I wanted to show you at least show you the body that I have painted, and it is painted, it's been cleared, and this is the Folk Art Gunmetal Gray, and I think it came out pretty nice. It's 6 coats, or 6 passes, I guess you would say. Came out pretty good, and has 4 coats of clear on it. And I still have to install the wing. It's 2 side pieces of base mount, and then the actual wing itself is going to be gloss black. And then the wheels will be shadowed, the Duplicolor shadow, and probably black out the front bumper and grille and the back bumper. Really haven't 100% decided on that, but I think probably I'll go that direction. So that's where we're at. I can't think of anything else, and like I said, sorry this ran a little bit long, but I wanted to. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a update, and the next one will be, I'm sure, will be the final. So that's pretty much everything I have this time. I'm within, I think, I looked earlier today, I'm 7 short of 1,000 subscribers. Guys, I can't tell you what a shocker that is for me. I never thought I would ever get anywhere near that close, and I'm sounding repetitious that the same thing that everyone else says, but it really is true, man. Everyone that has a channel on here that's gotten subscribers always seems to feel the same way, that you never do expect as many as you wind up getting, and I appreciate it. You guys are great. One of the things that motivates me, I will always build regardless of whether it's a YouTube or not, but you guys kind of give me someone to share that the inspirations with, and the builds with, the ideas with, and I get a lot of ideas from you guys as far as what you're building, and some really neat ideas out there, and some super builders, and I'm pleased and honored and just flattered to hell and back to be associated with you guys and such a great group of people. So, having said that, until I talk to you again, take care of one another, be safe, keep building, see you later.